Welcome back, viewers. This is Breakfast Daily, and we just had that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful music from Sixth String.
Yes.
Yeah, Sixth String, and I love his voice. He's so good.
Yeah.
But now it's time for us to get into the nutrition segment with Esther Obeng-Mensah, who is not a stranger here, of Opulent Dietitian, and she's a co-founder of Zen Diet Consult. And today we are going to be talking about Ghanaian porridges.
Yes. Drinks
Hi.
and porridges.
Hi.
You're welcome to the
I'm
show.
good. Good to see you again.
Yes. So took us into, the whole thing, drinks, porridges, the importance of the drinks and porridges that we have, and then also looking at the nutritional value of them.
Oh, very true.
All right. I think it's been great. This Heritage Month, we've walked through quite locally produced foods in Ghana, and I'm glad that you are treating the drinks and porridges lastly, because most of what we spoke about in previous segments will make sense in this particular segment. So the drinks, basically, we have varieties of them, the local ones. We have Asana, we have Lamujin, we have Sobolo, we have Zoom Zoom, we have
Zunkom.
Okay, Zunkom rather. Oh, okay.
Zunkom.
The one made
that
out
was actually on display
millet.
yesterday.
Oh,
at the
I
Back
missed
to Your
it.
Village. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's really
And
nice.
there's this one that's had an issue recently, the millet and the milk one, the most
Millet
popular one that is everywhere.
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, I think when
Yes,
the word
yes,
come
yes.
out, we will talk about it.
It's creamy, right?
Yes.
Exactly, very very creamy. Yeah. So this
Fura.
No,
Okay, we have
it's not
fura.
It's the one in the
Burkina.
bottle.
Burkina. How can this escape us?
Yeah.
So these locally produced drinks, quite funny enough, they are very nutritional. They have nutritional values, and most of them are fermented. Talking about Lamujin is made of fermented rice. Talking about Asana, made of fermented maize. So most of, aside Sobolo is made of hibiscus leaves. And so talking about the fermentation, majority will talk about that maybe the fermentation is not healthy, but it's very healthy. This fermentation process helps to promote the gut. The gut are the live bacteria that are found in our large intestine. Yeah, we call them microbe or probiotics or prebiotics. And we get these probiotics from this fermentation process. You realize that most people would recommend for us to go in for yogurt, cheese.
Yes,
These are also fermented milk or fermented meat or other products that are being used to come out from these products. But locally, not everyone can get access to this yogurt, this cheese. Especially talking about the non-sweetened yogurt, these are the ones that are rich in the probiotics that can be very beneficial to the gut. But these local drinks goes through this fermentation process. And so they equally have this health benefit to promote our prebiotics, which are the live microbes in our large intestine. That helps with digestion, that helps with gut health in terms of water reabsorption, and because we need these microbes in there for our health. And so with these local fermented drinks, I think that we get that benefit from it. So there's no need for us to go in for the carbonated drinks, which has these sodas that adds up to our disease conditions, especially the cardiovascular conditions.
Yeah.
And so we would like to promote these local drinks. We have varieties. And from previous segment, we spoke about the spices, talk about the grains, and most of these originated from the northern part of the country. Likewise, some of these drinks also originates from there. Some originates from the Volta region, some originates from the Ashanti region. So you wouldn't say that these local drinks are just in one part of the country where you couldn't get access. It's everywhere. And one thing I like about these drinks is that now they are being fortified with protein base. So if you go for Asana, we add milk to it. And milk is a protein source. If you go for this Lamujin, some add apple, some add milk to it. And these are all ways of fortifying these drinks to equally get the nutrient that we need for growth and development. So our locally produced drinks are highly nutritional, and so we would recommend that we go in for those drinks.
Okay, so now when it comes to, let's say, this local drinks, I love them.
Yeah.
But then again, I ask myself, how is it made? Sugar.
Yeah.
Like, is there supposed to be like an amount of sugar that is supposed to be in these drinks? Because like I don't know how
Exactly.
it's made, because even Asana, I love Asana so much, but in my head, when you were talking, I'm not asking, oh, is there sugar in Asana, or
Yes,
it just
there
comes
is.
out naturally like
No,
that?
no, there is.
Yeah,
They call
so
it
now the sugar
caramelized
consumption,
sugar.
how would we know when it's right for us or not?
Exactly. So that's one thing that we'll look at. In as much as these drinks are have the health and nutritional values, we'd have to consider their safety. Consider this, as you mentioned, of the sugar. The quantity is very, very important. Bringing us to Sobolo, majority don't add sugar to it. They add pineapple, which is a source of fruit. Some also add apple. Some add other spices, ginger and all of that to make it more tasty. So we should be very careful as to the amount of sugar that we add to these drinks. In as much as they are healthy, if the ingredients are not well balanced, if they go off guard with regards to the quantities, then we have an issue. And also food safety come in. The water that are used in this production of these drinks, if they're not good water, they're not potable, if they're not clean, and they also have other microorganisms that may equally affect us, then we have an issue. And also storage is also one thing. I think the issue that came with
The Burkina.
the Burkina was about the storage where they weren't stored very well. So that's when there was contamination. It doesn't mean that the Burkina itself is bad, but if the processing doesn't go well, if the storage doesn't go well, then we have an issue as regards to these local drinks. So in as much as they are healthy, we need to take all of this into consideration, and so that we can enjoy the drinks as well.
I'm just thinking about, you know, the issue of regulation in terms of do people put the amount of sugar on the labeling, you know, of these things. So I think that maybe it's an area that we need to look at to make sure that, because I would, if I had 2 Pitos or 2 Asanas, different brands to choose from, I would go with the one which has been naturally sweetened using a complementary fruit or plant, you know, or whatever, as opposed to raw sugar being poured into it. Do you see? I mean, I don't know if you have any thoughts regarding, you know, that.
Yeah, I think the FDA is doing quite a good job with regards to regulatory. I think they are trying to make sure that every vendor register their business so that some of these things can be regulated. So with the sugar, yes, we would opt for the plant fruit-based or the natural sweetness to sweeten these beverages, but not most of the vendors. We are trying to educate them as to, because of the price, most of the food they claim is expensive with regards to the sugar. However, sugar can also be used, but the quantity is very, very important. When we look at the quantities, it's used in minimal quantity. We don't have an issue because regularly our porridge, we use table sugar, which if they are used with regards to their desired quantities, we don't have an issue. It is when they are used in excess that is where we have a problem. And so with the vendors, let's look at not just with the profit gain margin, but we should also look at the consumer base also aspect with their health, and also consider all of that.
And I think it's very important to, you know, for the street vendors to hear this, the ones that are not watching this show to hear, because let's not lie to ourselves. Most of the times that's where we get our asana. On the street.
Exactly.
But again, it comes to the conversation we're having earlier about the fact that people, not because we necessarily want the foreign things, but because when things like fast food, it's in a nice air-conditioned building, you can go and sit, relax, order this, bring it, order that. If we also sort of beautified and made our local things in a certain way, we make it more attractive.
Yeah, that brings packaging.
Yes,
in
packaging, the way we consume it. So where is it available? You know, so if restaurants had it, you know, and so on and so forth. But I think that we go and look at our porridges. Okay, and look at the different porridges that we have and the nutritional value of each of them.
Exactly. So with the porridge, you have corn porridge, you have Tom Brown, which is a mix of the grains that we spoke about previously. We also have oblayo, made from corn. We
But
have
at Tom Brown, you've actually roasted, right?
Exactly.
You've roasted.
Yeah.
What part will we be roasting? We'll be roasting the corn.
most of the grains we use both legumes and grains. So
Okay.
some use rice, some use maize. It's a combination of these.
all
Okay.
of them.
Yeah, some use soya beans is also added.
Okay.
Depending on the individual preference. And so some would also use just two, just beans and then granite, or
Yeah.
even granite and then maize, and then they are good to go, or rice and oats, they are good to go. So it depends on the individual, whichever ingredients he or she would want to use. We are fine with the Tom Brown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so just talk to us generally about the nutritional benefits of enjoying our local porridge.
Yes. So I think when we're talking about the spices, we made mention of the local, the corn porridge where pintia or even cloves are added. So basically, most of the locally produced porridges, these natural spices are added to it to add to it to increase its nutritional value, as an anti-inflammatory properties and anti-microbial properties, where it helps to boost the immune system. However, the sugar content that are added to this needs to be controlled or regulated. The milk or the protein source, some would open a whole tin of milk adding to this porridge, which we don't encourage. You need to measure it. A tablespoon or 2 tablespoons is quite okay. So Tom Brown, Obrayo, Ekwek Bemi, corn porridge, Hausa cocoa, which if most of the Hausa cocoa, because of the process, the fiber content is taken out. So let's fortify with peanuts, which would help
to give it a bit more fiber.
Yeah, the fiber content, or even with the kose, aside it's the process of the frying, because it's beans, it's also a source of protein that we can also add. But we should just look at the frying process, where we shouldn't just use the oil over and over. Aside that, it makes it balanced and makes us get all the nutrients that we need. So let's explore the local porridges and then let's enjoy them.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much. How do people get in touch with you if they want to find out
All right,
more?
so you can get in touch with me on all social media handles. On Instagram, Opulent Dietitian, YouTube, Facebook, Opulent Dietitian, or ZenDietConsult.com.
All right.
Okay, beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, so we'll be speaking with Esther Obeng-Mensah, who is with the Opulent Dietitian. She's a co-founder of Zen Diet Consult. And we're talking about Ghanaian drinks and porridges. Have you had some this morning? Why not? What did you choose to have this morning instead of something that's locally produced?